destiny.
And I'd like to see how does that go.
It is indeed a do-or-die game, ladies and gentlemen. Both Godlike and MLT Esports have their backs against the wall. Both of them looking for their first win in NODWIN Valorant Challenger South Asia, driven by Hyundai, and our styling partner is Philips OneBlade. I would love to welcome our YouTube audience to the arena, and I would also like to do the same to these players. TC Rules is going to be playing today on behalf of MLT Esports, and they have made some bold decisions, you know. They have decided to not play with Tricky, at least in the first map for today. And that is going to be a very risky decision. Tricky used to be one of their most consistent fraggers, but hey, getting rid of him will definitely have some repercussions. Caramel, on the other hand, started off as a very solid Killjoy player, but then they realized, hey, this guy can click heads really well, so why don't we send him with the Jet ahead? So he started doing both. I'm excited to see what he picks up today. Easy and Kibo, two of my favorite people. In fact, Easy and Godvexy have been that pair of people. Like, if you see them as individual players, they're great, but if they just happen to be in the same team, in the same playing five, they can wreck up some massive amounts of havoc. Like, these two guys, when clubbed together, can be the absolute clutch duos. And there come the pillars of the team, Kakarot and Rexy. Both of them, while they aren't always the most stylish player or the guy with the spotlight, they always have quite a lot of amount of responsibility on their shoulders, because on paper these guys are the most experienced ones in their team, and they are the ones who need to guide everything when things go south. When the going gets rough, the rough need to get going, and so far this sea has been nothing but rough and turbulent for these two rosters. Both the teams looking for a win each at VCSA. Godlike Esports so far, they've had a rough time in the tournament. In Split 2, they've already lost to God's Reign, and before that they lost to True Rippers, which basically was their undoing and their damnation in Split 1. They didn't even make it to the playoffs. They didn't even win a single series in Split 1. And then when they started Split 2, they had to face God's Reign first. They had a promising image then. They were able to win at least one map, you know. So Ascent happens to be one of the stronger maps from Godlike Esports. Let's see if that gets picked up today. It should, honestly. If it doesn't, well then they're missing out on an opportunity. Meanwhile, for MLT Esports, I mean, at least they were able to register one win in Split number 1 against Lethal Esports. I don't know if that counts as much of a win, but hey, it's better than nothing. But then again, MLT Esports have their strengths all over the place, you know. There are some maps like Haven and Pearl where they have moderate performances but nothing to blow out of their mind. Meanwhile, they've been able to put up some stellar performances on Lotus, going up against True Rippers 12-14. Will they pick it up? Lotus could definitely be a surprise pick, and it is! There you have it, Lotus being picked up by MLT Esports. I'm sure Godlike would have seen this coming, and then Godlike will pick up their own map, their own strong map in response. They will pick up Ascent. Although, even though Ascent is a strong map from Godlike Esports, I can't really count Medal out of it yet. Alright, Fracture being taken away. Not a problem. Neither of these teams play a lot of Fracture, so that one getting out of the map pool kind of makes sense. And it also makes sense why you would leave it afloat in the map pool for so long. Why not? Because you know the opponents aren't going to pick this one, so might as well just let it stay afloat and let the other guy do it. But the last ban is a Haven ban, which takes us to Pearl as the decider.
Hey, Pearl as a decider. I mean, if we get till there, I'd say Godlike will have an advantage overall, because I haven't seen Team Metal win a lot on this map. They played against God's Reign, lost. They played against, I think, earlier I remember against True Rippers, and they were not able to beat them too, or they did not even go to that map. Do not clearly remember, but I mean, on the map of Pearl Medal, they do not look comfortable at all. But Godlike, I'd say it's a good map pool overall for them. Starting off on Lotus, where Team Medal thinks that they are very, very strong, and I do not see any sort of change coming in for Team Medal. But the thing is, they do not have sort of a traditional flasher, whereas Godlike, they're playing that double ini combo of Breach and Sky. But that is very interesting. Early control of A Rubble is going to be very, very important for both these teams, and I'd say Godlike in that particular matter will be a little bit on top in terms of utility they have to control out A Rubble. So that is going to be an important part of the map, and we'll just see why. But Medal on attack, let's see what have they cooked us for. Our DC rules will be responsible for all sorts of flanks. Easy with the Jet, Kakarot on the Omen. This is something I still do not understand. Players, teams playing these traditional smokers, that too just a solo controller. Right? Let's see if it works out for either of these teams, because both of them just have an Omen as their controller.
Yeah, I mean, the Omen as the controller, it doesn't really ring any alarm bells in my head, because at least even the other team picks it up, right? But my problem over here is the Jet being played instead of the Raze. Especially in a map like this, the Raze can have quite a lot of impact given the tiny corridors. Plus, I'm really questioning the viability of the Breach over here. Godlike will have to play super aggressively and have to make proactive plays in order to get some value out of this Breach. If they don't, if they just let Medal make the first moves, then they will be in quite a bit of trouble. Over here at least it starts off well. Good frag, but Fox gets 2 in return. Now, that's what I call extreme proactivity. They don't even go for the plant towards the site. They committed to the site itself, but then they extend all the way towards the sea link, and via waterfall they were able to highway their way in towards the alternate site, which leaves Godlike confused.
That's really a good strat. I mean, let's see if they're able to close out the round. They should be. But Caramel and Kibo, they've used the double doors and the flank area respectively to get control of the side. Kibo with the frenzy. VC not able to connect the shots, and now Jay has the molly, so can't deny the spike defusal for now, but it's not on the bomb. Kibo sticking in, but Jay with the spam shots. Caramel with 1. Jay just needs to survive over here. He just needs to buy time. It's already half. 1 bullet is what it takes to take down Caramel, and there you go. Jay, great frag sequence, but let's talk about this pistol over here, Crips.
Very messy.
A very messy pistol. Alright, but the strat from MLT Esports, you just pivot from side B to C without taking any other control. I mean, I thought easy over push there a little bit without any sort of utility, but that was the plan for Team Medal to just contest waterfall, take control, and then move towards the seaside.
Yeah, it didn't seem like the plan at the beginning, right? It kind of just makes sense in the moment. I guess things would have been much easier for MLT Esports if they had someone creeping in from C-bound from the get-go. But then again, you take what you get, and they got that opportunity to surprise Godlike. They were like, yeah, why not? Let's just do it. I think that also came on the back of just an instinctual play made by a player. Not a cooked-up strat, which has been in the works for a long time.
I mean,
you see, take a look at the setup from Godlike now. That's a cooked up strat. You know, 4-man stack on A. Meanwhile, it's just Zay holding B by himself with turret mark and C. Now that's a cooked up strat.
It won't them give, I think, any sort of a result. They know, because the Killjoy bot got deactivated and came back online. They know that the Killjoy is on the periphery of its range. Will be broken down. The site will easily be run over by the players. But wait a minute, Kakarot has been brought down to just 3 HP. And if Godlike are able to find this rifle, it could help them snowball the round. The spike's already down, so the time is something that Godlike do need to keep in mind while trying to go for this retake. Let's see. It is a 4-man flank. Oh, wait a minute. It's a 5-man. It's a complete team now. Reversing roles over here. It's Team Godlike who are trying to retake the side and then defuse the spike.
Exactly. So both these teams have turned roles. You know, MLT Esports are now playing the role of the defenders. They're the ones who have to defend this side from the incoming Godlike team. And these guys are popping off over here. The nades are holding them at bay. Nano Swarms is wasting so much time. But because of the reveal, they're able to get some wall bangs through. And Godlike are starting to get all the frags. Easy runs away with his life, but he's done his job.
Clutch. I thought that was a very good nade, but instead it was a siege from Fox too, which held the players of Team Godlike literally at the entrance and brought them to 20 HP each. And then the nade to make sure that they, even after the siege, are not able to take control of C main. It's a great shot call from MLT Esports, which helps them get the round. But as you pointed out correctly, they lost all rifles except for the Spectre on easy, and a Spectre does not make a lot of sense. So Medal, they're doing exactly something which we expected them to, full buy into the round. So if they lose, they'll be forced to an eco here.
I think they found themselves in these eco situations a bit too often now to be bothered by it anymore. Yeah, I know it's a dark statement to say, but hey, sometimes the truth is the truth. This time,
Placing swarm grenade. Swarm grenade out.
quite heavy presence towards the B site. They use their own nano swarms to boil away the other Killjoy's nano swarms, and after making some noise over here, they are also starting to pressure elsewhere. They activate the rotating doorway towards C, and this could look to be a C crunch if they hurry up, but that's the thing, they're not hurrying at all. They're letting Godlike make the first move.
But Caramel spotted. Astros also has to keep a hold on this angle till you're sure that Fox is already rotated. That's not the case, and even the Medal lose a player out C main, they've rotated off, they're trying to find something on the A side. And Godlike did never over-rotate. So it will be a two-person hold. You'll have some supporting utility from Astro, and it should be a shutdown onto Team Medal.
One dead.
Oh, but it's time for him to start popping off. Caramel arrives to provide some backup. The covering fire is here. And Godlike are holding on to their horses. Not letting go of these reins. Jay left to his own devices in a 1v5. Trapped in a cube of his own making. And this is it. Godlike keep things clean. They had been using a lot of the utility to clear up space and gather information. They used pretty much everything that Kibo had. The guiding lights as well as the trailblazers to gather information towards A and B main at certain intervals in the round. They rely on Zay's utility every now and then, but then they also go ahead and send Caramel into these aggro jump spotting positions from where he can also figure out a thing or two. So that way, Godlike Esports, even though Medal were trying to apply pressure towards multiple parts of the map, they do not budge under the pressure at all. Medal were making the sound of the rotating door towards the C side, the one between B and C, and they were just hoping that Godlike would over-rotate or do something else. Nah, not at all. They hold on to their positions and they're playing good expert Valorant.
That's all because of the Killjoy setup that there is towards the B and the C side. But here we do have a fight, folding off on rubble, and
enemy remaining.
Godlike, they've just made
Spike
sure
down
that
A.
no one comes out alive on the side of Team Medal. Oh my god, Kibo, great hold. First, he was somehow able to shut down two players when he was not on our screens, but then the shot on the third person was just crispy, and it's all down to DC rules. Left all alone as soon as they beat him. There he is. Kibo with a 4K, and the Seekers are all 9-2. That's a great round to find for Team Godlike. And again, hinting about the early control that Team Godlike is able to get on just the basis of utility. The early alarm bot B main and a turret peeking in such a way that until and unless a player crosses mount, you won't be detected by the turret. And even if your opponent team is on mount and you just have a single player holding the C side, you can ask for supporting utility to try and delay, and then the backup can arrive. The similar thing can be said for the B side. That is where you can stack two or more than two players on A side, and that's a great setup from Team Godlike, which hasn't been, I think, found or encountered by the side of Team Medal yet. Easy this time around. Wants to play a little bit aggressive towards C mount. The flash and the paranoia and the stun combination is just too great. Easy and J caught off guard. Caramel with the showstopper. And it seems like Godlike, even though Medal has picked up the map, the prep from Godlike is just insane. They exactly know when to use what sort of utility, exactly know when to use those rotating doors. And for now, are shutting down the players of Team Medal. Rules a bit too late, I think, to find that sort of a trade, or I'd say a battle won for Caramel in terms of those duels. Medal, I do not think they have any other chances. Somehow they're able to get one more without losing a lot of HP, and then are able to drop rules lockdown. They might be able to get into the site, But for retake, you have a very big ultimate, the Seekers for Keyboard.
Placing swarm grenade.
So getting back
Swarm grenade
into the
out.
round for team medal is going to be a very, very difficult thing to do. And there's a double stack
30
towards the
seconds
C
left.
side. As soon as you try to enter, you will swing into Rexy and Kibo. And one of them is going to hit a shot. Now it'll be a double swing for medal themselves. And they find both?
Initiated.
What and how? Kakarot and DC rules are able to find those frags.
Spike
And they've been
planted.
dropped to very little HP. 11 for rules, 47 for Kakarot. But this lockdown will help them get into good post-plant positions. They are trying to control Waterfall, and that is being given away from the side of Team Godlike. And Zay, even though he did open the door, but is not using it for their rotation. And now he's trying to lock up through Waterfall. This could be a very important angle that Zay has to contest. Kakarot not
remaining.
checking it. Completely faked out by the double doors, and Zay will clean up shop. Godlike, for a moment I had a heart attack, but they're at
Imagine if
least
I
able to
died.
close the round.
And they're able to make Zay go all the way around these places. These guys, they're running marathons around their opponents. Godlike Esports are all over the place when they need to be, and they are stationed when they don't need to be. Keep a couple of rounds ago, keep in mind how Godlike just did not make any preemptive rotations,
One enemy
did not
remaining.
over-rotate at all. But over here, you have Zay just making all these adjustments on the fly. It's really impressive to look at how Godlike can be stubborn to not move at all when MLT Esports are trying to sell them some fakes. But when the situation demands it, Godlike can be super flexible. Seeing both the sides of this team makes me happy. It shows improvement.
Killed my bot.
Improvement indeed, but I still do not understand the double initiator. The choice of, I'd say, the initiators that have been taken for them in this map of Lotus. A Fade on Fox and Jay with the KO. KO and Fade. If paired with Breach, or maybe even a Sky, they will make a lot more sense to me at least. But as individual initiators, this will help you to clear a lot of the areas inside the site. But I don't think so they've been playing around it. They've not been playing according to it is what I feel. They haven't been regularly throwing those prowlers out A main, which I think is the bare minimum you should do to bare minimum to deny space to your opponent. And now they try to barge into this B side. They won't have any sort of control, but their basic, I'd say the objective is to get a plant and get some money for yourself in the round.
Yeah, I mean, they smoke off towards ceiling as well as scaling, but they leave the B upper side open. I guess they wanted to really pick up some fights over there. That's why Easy dashed in towards that region. But now that the Seekers and the Trailblazers have been sent in, Godlike will use the Cabbages and the Dogs to charge their way inside. Use them as practical meat shields. And the meat shields work. Godlike have all these frags, which was bound to happen given MLT Esports lacking weaponry. But Kakarot is still able to find a couple of pieces here and there. Okay, never mind then. This thing is making way more sense than it's supposed to. But finally, Caramel puts the shenanigans to an end. That was quite a nutty spray down. You don't see something like that every day.
I mean, those frags were literally awarded. I think the marshals were able to get the leg shots, and then the stinker just cleaned up the remaining lower players. But I do not understand why did Rexy come off this spike, because he was not even being hit by any of those shots. I think just the paranoia in his mind made him stand up and try to spam through the smokes. But hey, Godlike, yes, they lose a couple of rifles, but because you've already won 4 rounds in a row, money is the least of your concerns as of now. Zay has that lockdown. Even the breach is just one of the rolling thunder. So I'd expect Team Godlike to maybe give away one part of the map entirely and play retake on it, whereas they strengthen their defenses on the other 2 sides of the map.
I think that would be a fair choice, yeah? In fact, they don't even need to stack one of these sides and then leave the rest of them to hanging, you know? If they start playing aggressively enough like they are on a main, it would automatically result in a lot of control of the map for them. And then after they've taken away control, they can just leave one of their players over there as a lurk while the rest of them pivot towards the other sides of the map. So, Godlike Esports have shown quite a lot of nuances in these kind of setups. I mean, they keep on changing and adapting very often, which is amazing so far. Out of the 4 rounds they've been able to win, 2 were passive, 2 were just aggressive. So it shows both sides of Godlike. And it shows that they're able to adapt in the fly, in the moment. Especially when MLT Esports too have been making some adjustments of their own. My goodness, look at that.
That's the one way you do not trust.
Yeah, you absolutely do not. At least the guy who put down the one way has been taken down. Astro's out of the picture, so maybe there's some hope.
Terminated.
But I guess I said it a bit too soon. DC Roots can't out-confuse the other counterpart.
Swarm
The other
grenade.
Killjoy.
Now they do have the utility there to clear that one way. They have Fox who can throw a Prowler, then maybe throw an eye too if the Prowler gets broken out by one player. Those plays could be made, but they're not in the right place. If you see a one way, you respect it. That's the basic rule of Valorant. And once again, it's a trade game inside, and they super accurate with the trades and even gets the third one. So Godlike, they'll close out the round. And this is not some crazy strategy or some crazy plays being made by a player. You're just throwing a piece of utility, making sure you have ground control behind it. And the opponent team is not well versed enough to respect that piece of utility. You're peeking through the smoke, sort of a dry peek over there, and you get punished because of it.
Yeah, and those pushes also are coming out of different parts every time, right? Sometimes it's a one-way towards A double, and Godlike have two players pushing out of there. This time Godlike were like, yeah, let's go see. And Metal just happened to be in that area, so they are able to get all the early kills. In fact, you even had AZ trying to just updraft into that smoke.
Get
Nope,
out of my way.
even that did not help.
Not at all. I mean, this time around they have switched it up a little bit. They've thrown a C main smoke of their own, trying to just stop any more aggression coming from that particular part of the map. And there's a one way down A main, and look at this. You don't have any information out here, and this will help. This will help the Rays Caramel to come in through the flank very quickly. Although Metal, they've blasted it to the side with the null command and the blade storm that is available for AZ. But now how do you stop the retake? Because as soon as the smokes start fading, that is where Godlike is always able to come back. And this time on the back of Rolling Thunder. Even the lockdown will be invested. So Rexy gets the frag. Now they're flushing players off this side. The players are not looking in the correct direction. Godlike perfect with the trade, and Fox, yeah, he might get one, but then he will be detained, or even better, Astro. Before that gets a frag, and Godlike, a very good retake from their side.
MLT Esports lost this round the moment they planted this spike. Godlike realized that because MLT Esports are contesting so heavily, it doesn't make sense to try and hold the side against them. Might as well just give it up and then play with retake. And why wouldn't you play with retake? You've got such massive ultimates available. The Rolling Thunder pushes back any aggressors who are trying to contest C halls or get in towards the defender spawn region from Metal. So the overextensions that MLT Esports were hoping to convert, they were nullified. The early halls control that they desired, yes, on paper it's a right area to contest, but not when there's a Rolling Thunder in your face. And that cleared the pathway for Zay to plant that lockdown, who, by the way, is sitting on 9 frags and only 3 deaths. Almost everybody on Godlike is popping the hell off. Metal really need to step it up in terms of individual performance too.
Finally, they respect the main smoke, and they did throw a Prowler on the back of it, and as soon as it got broken, they knew this place is a no-go for now. And once again, look at this. Zay is peeking out. He knows that there is just a Killjoy, so there is no need to rotate as of now. DC rules, the best he can do is just hold that position unless backup arise. That's just great proactive play coming in from the side of Team Godlike. They are identifying the points where the pushes can come through, and they're just throwing reinforcements there. You have Astro who's already broken the B-Link door. He can give you information outside the A door region, and you'll always have that information because you also have Sky Flashes to work with. So Metal, again, they're getting into this A side for sure, but in theory, you have 3 players defending it. Yeah, yes, Astro might not be a very active part of it, but the util will be very quick, whereas Metal now decide to pivot towards this B side. They have 2 players out, CT and Astro. The one of the players just comes in, gets a frag. Rexy gets one too. Turns the flash Astro over there and is able to deliver 2 more.
Oh, Astro from the smokes is able to get so much done. Kakarot now left to his own devices has to somehow pull off a massive clutch. Very little time left. Oh, after fake tapping towards the seaside, he teleports all the way towards A. The other Omen also commits his ultimate in the process, and now both the ultimates are racing towards it. Unfortunately, the gamble was incorrect and Astro is not able to chase him all the way down. But hey, he was cancelling his ultimate in the last moment just to gather information, and now he will much rather regroup with his team and try to defuse this spike as one single cohesive unit. Kakarot, on the other hand, is trying to go all the way around. He almost considered swinging all the way from B towards the stair side, but that would have been a bit too much.
Smoke in his face, although he gets one. Kakarot still trying to spam through, but Astro's taking it. Astro is taking it, and then Caramel will come in to finish the job. I mean, Kakarot, yes, he got 2 frags, but he did not plant the post plant at all. He just went in and planted the spike as soon as possible. And that is where I think he lost the round. Only if he would have planted backside and then went for this long rotation through B lane, then towards CT. So the spike would have been planted for him and he would have had an angle. Not just 1, but 2 angles to work with.
Could have,
should have been. I mean, yeah, that's
a lot of
about
theory
it.
craft. Yeah,
True,
a lot of theory crafting over there, in which Godlike and MLT Esports both can come out on top. But then again, Godlike are leading 7-2. This is the only time where they've been able to capture such an enormous lead. And MLT Esports are certainly looking a little out of their element today. To be losing to such a devastating scoreline against a team like Godlike, who haven't registered a single win yet. Now that must be a bit heartbreaking for every Metal fan. But luckily, Godlike supporters can rejoice. They've successfully pushed MLT Esports back from the B side yet again. Look at the amount of damage taken by DC Rules and Fox. They've practically given away their lives.
Where's the Prowler?
Down A.
You've got 2 Fox to swing an angle like that.
Remaining.
Not using any. And now Metal, they just run into a meat grinder over there. 2 of the players, they just eliminate the whole opponent's squad. Kakarot finds a good headshot onto Caramel. And that's about it.
No, that's
Kibo
scary.
once again. A 4K in the round. Godlike. Bear in mind, this is an attacker-sided map. And Metal just got 2 rounds overall.
Just 2. More than that, Godlike have been stringing these rounds together, you know, so they are able to not only get the rounds, but also get the economic momentum. I mean, after this, whatever happens to MLT Esports, they still have to go through that awkward hell of ecoing, buying again and again. Meanwhile, Godlike can lend money to the World Bank.
I mean, that's correct. The only purchase they make is in the utilities that they invested in the whole round. That's correct. They don't lie. They don't lie a lot. And once again, Astro just playing super proactive on B main. This time a Prowler to push him off. Will instantly smoke it out. So that's the default Team Godlike, to just play proactive as soon as you find any sort of information, you just smoke it off and then call off rotations. And that's great because again, look at this. On C side, it's always Caramel who's jump peeking the long angle. So the distance cannot be closed in without him knowing. And that helps you to stack a lot of players on the other side of the map. Zay sees a player, knows that this will be an A hit and Nightfall gets invested too. So the site will be once again given away. But let's see once again if Team Godlike is able to pull a successful retake or not.
And Godlike have been fairly successful in retakes, but this is one of those only rounds where they just leave the A side on the back of the Killjoy utility and hope that it's going to be enough. It wasn't this time. And now the lockdown place kind of forces their hand. Caramel wants to speed up the process before he gets detained eventually. He blows up Fox. The rest of his teammates try to follow up, but one of them does get detained. And now it's Metal's turn to strike back. Kibo, who was holding back all this time, he jumps downwards, but the paranoia ends up hitting him. Astra goes for a little bit of a team blind, but then they are able to recover regardless. Kakarot, though, has swung all the way from behind them. That massive rotation from him pays off dividends, and Metal are able to get their 3rd round.
Oh, at least keeping it competitive. Metal. They get that 3rd round for themselves on the board and Godlike. Yes, this time around they were not able to successfully get the retake. And it is because Metal, they counted their ultimates is what I think. They knew they had 2 ultimates and they've been facing some problems in post-plant. So they just saved the lockdown for it and are able to win the round on the back of it. A great round from Team Metal. Good util usage this time around. And they avoid any sorts of mishaps and are able to win the round. Although it'll look good on scoreboard if they're able to convert it into an 8-4 half. So Fox is a little bit lower in terms of weaponry, but DC Rules is the first one to fall. Great paranoia and Caramel capitalizing on it.
Fancy footwork too. Caramel using those satchels beautifully. Now you know why this guy's an absolute monster. 45 established. Nobody to mark your backstabs. And in a precarious spot like this, MLT Esports try to converge onto the A site. So far, every piece of utility from Godlike is holding them back. The dark cover, creating a barrier in between them and the world on the other side. Trailblazer confirming the suspicions of Godlike. Now they know that MLT Esports are present over here, and they do have time to fall back if they want. But look at Godlike. Even though they've got 3 players stationed on the A side, the rest of them aren't moving to flank or whatever. They're just so confident that MLT Esports will hit this.
Hey, the trades are happening inside. Astro gets another, and Kibo swings from backside too.
30 seconds
once
left.
again, Godlike, they just shut down this air control from the side of Team Metal that was attempted anyways. And all of them just fall down to the ground. Captured, left all alone. Spots a player. Kibo was low, gets taken care of. Fakes the spike a little bit. 16 seconds on the clock, and Astro misses a few shots. This will maybe let Kakarot get a frag. Yes, he does, and has enough time to get the spike down too. Zay is coming from CT. Okay, he decides to just come in through stairs instead. But in a 1v2 with both players being completely healthy and Kakarot trying to play an off angle, I mean, yeah, he might just be good for one, but that's about it. You need to make maybe a play over here. You have a smoke, you have 2 TPs available. But
yeah.
This Kakarot calculated that both the players are coming in the same direction. Caramel. First he did not check, and I was a little bit concerned, but then he turns, delivers the shot, and wins the round for his team.
Caramel always with the fancy footwork now. It's just characteristic of him.
Switching
Again,
sides.
Godlike with a 9-3 lead. That is certainly not characteristic of them. We haven't seen them take leads like this in
One enemy remaining.
forever now, I guess. This is the first time they have such a massive lead now, don't they? It's so rare to see Godlike leading like this. It's actually a breath of fresh air. And I think all the Godlike fans will be very happy about this one. Let's just hope they don't squander this away and lose the advantage in the second half. We'll see on the other side of this break.
Hit for my wings, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
बाथटब नहाने के लिए है, लैपटॉप डुबाने के लिए नहीं है।
भाई इसमें इतना ओपी प्रोसेसर है पर कुछ प्रोसेस ही नहीं होता।
आ तू मेरे साथ आ।
ब्रो प्रोसेसर चलेगा तो गेम थोड़ी चलेगा। What about cooling?
The all-new Omen 16 with advanced Tempest cooling technology, now with 5 heat pipes and 4 thermal outlets. The Omen 16 with 12th Gen Intel Core i7 processor that lets you game and multitask like a pro.
अब that's cool.
Game on with Tempest cooling.
Presenting Hyundai i20 N-Line. It's time to play.
Yes, I'm a Gen Z, or should I say, the Gen X. And I don't let fear hold me back from doing anything. I choose to move fearlessly to it all.
Hey buddy, we need you to trim your beard for this next scene.
What? Okay, fine, I'll admit it. I move fearlessly in most things, but I draw the line here. What if I Nico cut myself?
Try this.
Phillips.
Hit for my wings, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Omen Valorant Challenges South Asia, driven by Hyundai, and our styling partner is Philips One Blade. Speaking of style, it's been a while since we've seen Godlike lead with example. And now they are leading 9-3. Quite a dominant lead for a team who doesn't have a single win in the tournament. So this could be their chance to put one on the board.
And a huge suppress early on from Team Metal though. So this will halt the push from Team Godlike. They were trying to get control of C side. They get stunned, they get flashed, they get smoked and suppressed too. So they just stop. There's a lot of utility. And Metal are getting proactive on the back of it. Look at this. It's a two-man push towards C. You only have Astro who's trying to defend it, and he has a frenzy. So no long range battle, and the timing.
Oh,
It's beautiful for Team Metal. The hit hasn't started. The hit is on the side where the killjoy is already positioned. So it will be slowed down anyway. And this flank will come up huge.
There's no KJ, he's the leader, so they don't know about this incoming flank. But now that it's finally here, Easy is stuck a little bit. He's overcommitted. He somehow jumps back to safety, even though there's a fault line in his face. And now Godlike are trapped. The only way out of this precarious situation is to kick the door down and head in towards the B side. But instead, they pivot deeper into A. It's just up to DC Rules. He's using the nanoswarms to somehow buy time, but Rexy busts everybody down.
And that's Easy check the corner. Zay, he is in a good position. But if he goes unchecked, he could wreck Kakarot. The first one gets taken down, but Easy with the instant trade. Now it's down to Rexy in a 1v2. Jay needs to be the person who trades out Easy in this battle. Rexy playing around the boxes, spots the player, gets the headshot, but it ain't enough. Metal, they're able to stop the plan from not from happening, but from blasting off. But hey, a good round from Team Metal. Although they went a bit slow as soon as they were able to perfectly flank, which I did not like. They could have been still very active and tried to fight against the players of Team Godlike, but because they were stuck in a rock and a hard place sort of an area, because they were only able to open the door and then escape, leaving a lot of players isolated around that A rubble, A stairs region. But hey, Metal, they do something, it works out, it's just perfectly fine. They get the fourth one on the board.
Yeah, quite a lot of suppressive utility on C-Mount, and then they push out on the back side. This time, MLT Esports are looking to play aggressively towards C-Mount once again, using the same one-way smokes and the 0 points. But at the same time, they also have aggression towards B, with the Prowlers as well as Kakarot holding an off angle. Oh, he almost gets away with it, the fault line though, that kind of stops him. Hey, at least the reflanks are great. Now Godlike are trapped once again. Spike in the open, and Caramel doesn't have the right set of weaponry to fight this one.
They do not take a lot of damage too, so it's just Kakarot who falls, and it shouldn't be a problem at all. A good bonus round for them. Godlike, they did not invest literally anything into the round, so they'll come guns blazing this time around. It's only Astros playing on the half shield, but the remainder of the team, every bit of utility, they've got the full shields and the weapons to work with. So it should be a Godlike round on paper. But let's see if Easy is able to hit some nutty shots, or even if Kakarot is able to pull something off big with the Sheriff, because for Metal, he has been the guy to look out for.
He indeed has been the guy to look out for. He's got double the amount of frags than any of his teammates. And he always kicks those frags in when the moment is absolutely critical. So those are impact frags too. Now look at this. Quick dash in from the rotating doorway. They avoid the A main region, which is where the nanoswarms and the alarm bots are residing. So this is a good way for Godlike to just tunnel their way into the A side, just brute force their way through. And this now forces MLT Esports to go for a very fair 5v5 retake, where Godlike will obviously have the edge.
Oh, but wait a minute. Metal, they're not letting it slip by that easily. Great trades are even Easy. I thought he was dead for sure, but got two. And now Kakarot, he has a good angle, but is not able to hit that shot onto Zay. And now Easy, left with just 30 HP. Now this will be what like it is. Zay gets the headshot, gets the job done, and Godlike, not at all flawless, not at all beautiful, because they dropped 3 weapons in the process. But at least it's a round 1 for them.
Yeah, and they did it in such a vanilla fashion too, you know? They don't even take a main control. They just go in directly via the rotating doorway region and the tree region. So, considering that it was a very straightforward push, I like what Godlike were able to accomplish from this one. They walked into the setup of Metal's Killjoy, but they still somehow avoided taking quite a lot of damage. So I'm proud of that way. But it's not going to work for them every single time, you know? They would be much better off just holding for Metal's aggression and then punishing that, which has been a consistent point up until now, at least towards the C side of the map.
Keep a good flash, and they do check for Kakra this time around. This is how you play round 1 ways, guys. Medal, take a note. But Godlike, they're able to just bounce back in. They will try to overrun the C side, and it's Jay all alone. Tosses a flash, but then has to respect the Rolling Thunder and the Trailblazer too. The operator does not connect. Easy missing such an easy shot, and then the paint shells to flash off Jay from that angle. The flash is perfect to Godlike. Everything they do is just hitting perfectly.
Yeah, they can do no wrong over here. MLT Esports giving away plenty of frags. JE peaks all by himself. The rest of his teammates fall because Godlike are bombarding the halls region with Rexy's flashes. And then they hunt down DC Rules too. They don't even let the guy save.
Not at all.
Godlike are running away with this game.
Hey, well, I thought that the 9-3 curse was activated. Team Metal might bounce back into the game. But after these 2 rounds, I'm completely taken aback. We did not expect Godlike to put such a performance on a map they did not choose.
Yeah, right? They haven't played too much Lotus before.
Exactly. But it did not seem like it is their first time playing. Because I literally loved the setup that they ran on their defensive side. And now, coming out on attack, they're firing on all cylinders too. Look at this. Early suppressive utility towards C mount, but they're not committing on it yet. They're waiting for any sort of a proactive play because they know that Medal is on an eco right now, and Easy is the only threat that they have. Maybe Jay, but he needs to be figured out because that Guardian has not fired yet. So for them, the only real threat is going to be Easy with the Blade Storm. That's about it. And they're waiting for it. They're just waiting for it. A Trailblazer will reveal there's a Marshal in the mix. In a player's position too. Godlike, they're happy again to kill time off the clock and rotate back.
Yeah, and they're just going to apply pressure on every part of the map. MLT Esports have already used the Blade Storm towards the A main area, and they are heavily pressuring that place. Jay, on the other hand, though, gets the shot onto Caramel, but now he's trapped in a limbo. Are they committing towards the C side? Are they heading back towards B? The Paranoia and the Fade reveal does give them a little bit of an idea, but there's still plenty of time on the clock for Godlike to make any moves. And DC Rules now has to defend this entire area by himself. That's quite a lot of responsibility. Too much for his nimble shoulders, and he will fall prey to the weight of that.
Jay shouldn't have peeked over there. He could have played off of contact on DC Rules. And Easy not finding any blades there. Zay is able to shut the player down. And Godlike should easily, very easily, find their match point.
Oh man, this doesn't seem like the Godlike we've seen before. Yeah. This is a whole new improved Godlike. I love this version of them. And if they're so good on Lotus, why did they wait so long to unleash it? They must have worked on it over the gaps in between these few games. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I was a bit skeptical about Godlike coming into this matchup, you know. We did start late partially because of some travel issues that Godlike were facing. It's not their fault. I mean, sometimes the flights just do get delayed, and hey, it's very difficult for players like these to travel to another city with so much to worry about in such a hurry, and then immediately start playing and start performing like this. That's rare.
I think is it a bit too late to call the timeout? Maybe 12-5. You're already down. I think they just want some rounds on the board. So essentially, they're able to improve their round difference overall. That could be one of the reasons because of which the timeout has been called out. Because winning from here does not seem something that can happen now. Because all the players of Team Metal, look at them. Even in the cameras, it looks like that they've already given up. I do not see any sort of hope in their eyes and Metal. They're all shoulders down, waiting for this game to be over and maybe then mentally reset and perform a bit better on the next map of Ascent. It seems like, yes, they did choose the map, but they were trying something new and it literally backfired.
Speaking of backfiring, I kind of see Kakarot overcooking this one. Oh, he gets away. And he uses the ultimate for the escape. No, he's trapped back there now. The ultimate was broken. He just has that dark cover for his own safety, and that also fades away. Oh, he needs help, and he needs it now. At least his teammates are here to fire alongside him. So this little squad of guns might just be able to trade facts back and forth, but Godlike are able to somehow get all these neutralizations. ASTER takes the spike back to safety. But it doesn't really help their cause. Godlike still have to venture into one of these sites, and the Kata setup is still very much active on B. Meanwhile, Rexy has been marked on A. This kind of leaves C in the clear, but Rexy somehow needs to isolate one of these fights. He has all the information in the world now. Godlike, just by simply of being present, they figured out where the medal members are. But what do they do about it? As soon as they try to plant, the KG Util getting in their way. JE might try to make a move, and Rexy uses the coverage of the smoke to surprise the hell out of him.
Last player standing. Down B.
And I mean, inside, Godlike, they've been able to get it down to a 1v1. It was what, 3v5 overall? And now transitioning to the C side. Yes, left. DC Rule spots the player down, but he won't be there in time. He won't be able to stop the plant. It will go down and will come down to this duel over here. Rexy not looking the right way, but is able to escape. And DC Rules throws some shots, shows his presence. But 33 HP, a bullet is what DC Rules need. And he's a bit paranoid. He repositions. Both these players playing hide and seek, and it's finally DC Rules who comes out as the Tom and is able to snatch the round.
Oh no.
So you were implying that Rexy is the Jerry over there. The rat who's trying to just scurry his way through the maze, find his way to the cheese. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, if he did win this round, it would have been a very cheesy win. And Godlike so far haven't been relying on cheese strategies. Their fundamentals have been really solid.
I mean, Godlike, I don't even know how they were able to even get this round into a contention, because Medal started off so strong. And even though Kakarot was trapped for a very long period of time, around him there were a lot of frags that were going this team's way. So, yeah, I mean, somehow Godlike even make the round out of that situation, and now are back into contention with, I'd say, better weapons, but this time around easy. Hopping and jumping, finds safe frag.
Luckily, Zay wasn't doing all that much to prevent the backstabs. Whatever area his turret was covering is being marked by ASTER himself, so it doesn't do too much in terms of reducing Godlike's firepower. They can still hit one of these sites with brute force and get it done. And with very few Seekers going towards the B site, they try to assault it. Quite a creative flash over there from the gaps. Very difficult to dodge, but then again, Easy doesn't get affected by any of that. All the breach util being thrown to make sure that the ceiling players stay over there, but we might just have MLT Esports getting challenged over here. Rexy trying to go across the other side. It does catch the Oppa by surprise, but the lockdown forces them away. Now it's a race to the C site. Godlike trying to get there before Fox does, but Fox is already in position, and what does the Fox say? He says ratata! He tries to spray them down, and he's bought enough time for Easy to arrive, but Easy misses the opportunity! Oh, and it's done! Godlike will get the plant. It's still a 2v3, so don't get me wrong, Medal can keep this alive, but with Rexy's rolling thunder, things look bleak.
I mean, it's good that even Fox was able to get a frag, because if he wouldn't, this round would have been over very soon. But DC Rules, he's able to get that frag. Rexy with a trade, but now 36 HP left and 2 different players from Team Medal. All healthy, run past the fault line, and Jay is able to get that frag. Medal, they get their 7th round. What a great round from Team Medal. 7th on the board, and this time around they figured out what Team Godlike was doing. Great op shot there from Easy too. I mean, the second shot was just nutty. He just saw a pixel and was able to take down the player. And a great round overall. Medal, they were able to just string the other 2 frags on the back of it and were able to win the round. This is the second shot I was talking about. Easy, what a great shot.
Always at the right time, at the right place. First getting that opening with a relatively simple one, and then repositioning on B just to stop Godlike in time. But this time Easy will have some difficulty. Caramel has the showstopper, and if he decides to pop in your face, it will be difficult to stop him. Fault line to counter the one-way smoke, and Caramel's able to catch JE before he can get to safety. And now he's ready to party, ready to rock and roll as he is demolishing all the way through defender spawn. Did the showstopper just hit a little prowler and get busted over there?
I mean, or maybe a wall too.
Maybe a wall too, but hey, it gets the job done. They have the lockdown as well, and Caramel's on the other side. He's done more than enough. A paranoia to keep them at bay. As MLT Esports are now in trouble, Godlike are doubling down on the Halls region to keep this area under lock and key. But DC Rules might just be the key to victory over here. Rexy says no. It's all up to DC Rules. The man who made it look possible now has to make it all on his own, and he won't be offered a fight. He has to fight against the myriad of nano swarms and the players who are just hiding and not offering fights. The spike is half gone, and with it the hopes of MLT Esports as well. You can see the defeat in his eyes. He's given up. Godlike take map 1.
What could he do? I mean, there were 2 nanos on the bomb. There was an aftershock left for the breach. It was done. It was done as soon as the jet got taken down. A great shot. What a shot from Rexy. It was almost magnetic. And he gets that frag, does not get traded, and then there is a lot of utility to buy you time. Great job from Godlike, and it seemed like Godlike wanted this map to be played, even though they did not pick it. But hey, they just performed like beasts on this map.
I know, right? It seemed like 5-dimensional chess at one point. MLT Esports have been okay with the idea of playing Lotus every now and then, you know. They don't have too many matches on Lotus either, but at least they're not completely new to it, right? I mean, they faced Reckoning, they faced Lethal and True Rippers on this map before. Of course, all of those with varying results, but they're comfortable on it. But for Godlike, this was their very first Lotus appearance, and who knew that they would be so good? How are they so good? We'll get into those details on the other side of this break, so don't go anywhere.
Hit for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
I know my destiny.
first map on Lotus. This was their first ever showing, and if Godlike looks so clean on Lotus, I'm assuming that Ascent looks cleaner, it looks neater, and it looks deadlier. Hopping into map number 2, we are looking to see if Godlike can put up their first ever win in VCSA, or can Medal push this to map number 3 and hopefully put up their first win in Split 2. A lot hangs in the balance. Both these teams had struggled to reach the playoffs last time in Split 1, and now they have a golden opportunity to do so. But this match will determine their fate in the tournament. Who's it gonna be? It's all coming down to Ascent.
And to start it off, it's a mirror comp. No changes in terms of composition whatsoever. Exact same agents too. And it's a very meta comp, I'd say. The two initiators, Sova and KO. You have the KO flashes through the top to set your jet up inside this site, and then you take it, you try to stop the retake with the nano swarms of KJ. It's a very, very meta pick from both these teams, and let's see which one of these teams runs it better, because that's what it all comes down to. It is a E setup for Medal, and Godlike are running right into it. But let's see if they decide to rotate off as soon as they see the turret. I'm not a big fan of the placement over there though of turret, because it can be easily shot through A main without any problems, I'd say. But hey, let's see the Medal. It is a setup towards the A side. They're playing retake on B2 and heavy presence towards the middle of the map.
Yeah, I mean, DC Rules has done, now that you pointed out, he has indeed a very weird setup now. I mean, at least they won't be able to close the switch. That's something, but then it does very little to stop Godlike from actually getting into the site.
Exactly.
You know? That's already down. Caramel doesn't even need to use his dash, and they flood inside. Yes, they can't close the door, but that's okay, because they will smoke off the entrance and go deeper into site instead. And since nobody from Medal wants to make a preemptive push, it doesn't really help them out. But look at that fragment. It burns Kibo alive. The flurry of shots comes through as they now look to waterfall out of heaven. It's Astro trapped in a corner of his own making, and Kakarot to shut it down. Medal Esports hit back strong.
I thought the nade killed the player up heaven, but then I couldn't believe my eyes because I did not see a player out heaven. And then I see,
No, they were
under heaven.
Yeah.
Oh, that was something I did not see. But hey, a great retake from Team Medal. It started as soon as the spike was going down, and they did not let the planter come out on time, I'd say. Plus a very weird plant spot from Godlike this early in the game, because this is usually a plant you give when you have A main control and you're looking to play post plant out A main. But all the players of Team Godlike were already inside and were not comfortable at all. The door got broken, the smokes faded away, and suddenly the players of Team Godlike just flooded in with those frenzies and were able to capitalize on the frags. Great early round, great first round from Team Medal. Let's see if they're able to continue the momentum. Should be an easy second round too, because there are a couple of sheriffs here and there. Although getting some shots connected with that weapon is not going to be easy at all. And when you have such a Sova, it even becomes a little bit more difficult for your opponents to get into a side.
Yeah, I mean, you usually see stuff like that with Odin, maybe even an Ares every now and then. Not so much with a Guardian. So, yeah, you will be a bit salty when you get shot like that. You will be even saltier when the spike gets dropped in the open and Easy wants to challenge you once again. And this time, there's even Fox to back him up. Oh, the smoke comes in just the nick of time, but I think Medal Esports will disrespect that one too.
Second barrel was taking out, and Caramel could have taken a few shots in his direction. He does not. Still gets his one, but it's finally shut down. A good round from Team Medal. They lose the Spectre of DC rules, but that's about it. So they wouldn't be too worried about it. And Godlike, they did invest into a couple of sheriffs this time around. So you might see some harsh shields here and there, or maybe some util not being purchased. But yeah, Medal Esports must-win series for them, as we pointed out previously during a segment 2 Crips. If they lose it out, it's bye-bye for them.
Godlike finally have a chance to hit back. They have the weapons. Although there were some kills in the previous round, so Medal Esports have the ability to afford certain weapons. There's Vandal on Kakarot, but Easy. Look at this push from him. Great flank right out of B main, and DC Rule starts off the killing spree. A flash dodge by both Hibbo as well as Rexy, but now they are forced to hit back to his top mid. They simply don't have the ability to fight Metal over here because they have so many of these avenues under their control. They're trying to race them towards A main, but yeah, I don't think they're gonna make it. Metal Esports are already positioned over here preemptively. They're trying to hopefully draw in some distractions towards B main, but that is nothing but a ruse. It won't result in anything. Spikes dropped in the middle of sight. And okay then, Astro goes godlike. He goes ballistic.
Cover going out.
This might just clear a path for them, but the spike is still in the open.
7 seconds on the clock. Too easy. Spotted down, but has been taken too. And Zay, if he lost that fight, the round would have fallen. But Zay winning it out now gives a chance for them to get back in. Easy does not spot this round in step. The spike can now go down. Will be picked up by Zay and will be planted down too.
I got the spike.
And all these three players are very low on HP. But the only advantage Godlike has is the number of players alive.
Spike planted. One down. One enemy remaining.
Easy sneaks out, gets the first, and then the second too. How does he do that? Astro just needed a single bullet and it could have picked off Easy. But Metal, they just snatched the round from Godlike's hand.
Exactly, dude. Godlike had it in the palm of their hands, and then you don't know how it happens. It's so fast. It's almost like a pickpocket hit you, but the way Easy was connecting those shots, it's almost like a truck's running over your face. And we thought Godlike can clean it up. We thought they would be able to 2-0. But Metal Esports are showing signs of life over here. And once again, they've relegated Godlike back to the archaic caveman days with their pistols and their stingers. Zay at least has a risky weapon. He picks up the Vandal with only half shields. But Caramel, the big gun's already down. That's the danger man out of the picture. Astro can still lay down some cover, but they go for contact peaks instead? Okay then. I mean, if that's what they are doing, then Metal Esports are bound to get all the kills anyway.
Wait a minute. But Zay's got two. Both the players peeked out a shot and were punished for it. Let's see, the weapon will be recovered for Rexy, and Zay has a lockdown to work with too. Now, if Easy is picked off of this position, this round is doable. But the question is, do they check it? Of course not. That's the enough angle that usually goes missed. And this time again, Easy is there to capitalize on it. Zay with 45 HP has to get an ace if he wants to win the round. Is able to retrieve the spike at least. Might also be allowed to plant it down, but then Metal is playing for the round instead. So it should be a Metal round. All the three players are fairly healthy. And Zay with just 45 HP cannot expect much from the guy.
He can't afford to plant right away. He has to go for the peak first. He has to pin the numbers down and then hopefully hope to plant it. The moment he would have tapped that spike, he would be swarmed by Metal members. So he needed to go for a frag win first. And unfortunately, he's not awarded any of that. The moment he props up on that little box, the Odin's waiting for him. Easy, though I really thought they would check this angle, you know. I think they had audio cues about Easy's position as well. But this guy hasn't died a single time in this entire game so far. I know it's only been 4 rounds, so it's a bit early to say this. But 7 frags and 0 death can be quite impressive to look at. Now he's got the AWP too, so you better watch out. Now Godlike won't be able to take mid without any of their smokers, and that's why they're being super careful. Yeah, the drone can probably clear out some room for you, but you are most likely gonna need this later on when you try to hit 3 instead. On the other hand, Easy already having pushed out of B main doesn't spot anybody over there, so Metal have a faint idea about Godlike's intentions, and that's why they're quad stacking the A site. Heavy resistance towards 3.
Let's see Godlike, how do they deal with it. There's a Hunter's Fury available and Trey and DC Rose will be picked off. No trouble whatsoever. Fox though is the second one in the lane. Now Godlike, they try to cut it through gates. Jay gets one but brought down to 34 HP. Astro with the trade. The play being revealed gets dealt with too. So Godlike, even after such a huge stack, are able to crack the A side open, but they're not ready. They're not ready yet to plant an Easy. Oh, he has that tingling. He has that inkling that someone could be flanking from mid. And he's correct. I mean, he's not wrong. Evo, he is still tossing some flashes so that his teammate is able to rotate all the way towards that B side.
Nice.
And Fox, as soon as he peeks, it's his death. Easy, left all alone with the operator. Better save that weapon.
Oh, what a barbaric round from Godlike. They literally behave like one of those horsemen riders who pull their opponents just limb from limb and then give them a very brutal death. This literally felt like that because Godlike were literally everywhere. Rexy's utility so on point. Not only does he get a kill with the Hunter's Fury towards 3, but then also somehow his recon dart doesn't get broken, so he's able to find a second one through the smoke on A main. And that creates the opening for Zay to sneak all the way through towards defender spawn. And since he's over there, since he gathers all this much information, you've got Rexy going all the way back from his spawn towards B for a very safe plant. Meanwhile, they leave Kibo to do the dirty work, to do the distraction work. And he keeps them distracted, oh, certainly well. He even gets a kill in the process, so Godlike are finally recovering. And they've identified some stark gaps in Metal's defense. Metal do tend to over-rotate every now and then. The only difference being, sometimes they leave KJ Util towards mid in doing so. This time it wasn't present, so they exploit the hell out of it.
Team Metal, I mean, it's not the over-rotation this time around that costed them the round is what I feel. They not swinging off of each other is, I think, what led to this round's demise. And then again, you had a Hunter's Fury involved from the side of Team.
So yeah,
it
does become a bit difficult to double peek when you're trying to dodge laser beams. Plus the micro communications in that second, right? I mean, you expect your teammate to shoot down the recon dart because you yourself can't give away your position, and that little communication barrier just results in you dying through a smoke.
But it has to be there. I mean, it has to be present.
Yeah.
It cannot be an excuse for you to lose it. And once again, Caramel somehow is able to find the timing. Although the trade is there onto a different player. And Zay, he was ready. The previous round, Easy went in for free. He was able to kill down that. What? And Zay, he's just killing everyone now. He gets a couple of frags and now has put it down into a 4v2. It should be a safe call, simply for the side of Team Metal.
I mean, he's not a killjoy. He's a kill everybody. Literally wide peeks the Odin guy. Bonks him in the head. And then even before that, he's already killed Easy, you know. And Easy's wielding an op, so that's no easy kill. That's no small task. He makes it look simple. Makes it look like child's play. How do you win this round? Oh, just press mouse 1. It's simple. It's very easy analysis now, isn't it? It makes my job easier.
And I mean, could be sort of a behavioral thing, because if for 2-3 rounds back to back you're allowed to break the board for free, you won't expect the player to be there the 4th time. Yeah, I mean, these are just exits. These are just exits for Team Godlike. They'll be able to secure a couple of them. And Zay on the back of it is able to also get the lockdown. And there's a null command already available for Kibo. So Godlike, in terms of ult economy, they are cycling it pretty quick. Although to answer back, Metal also have the exact same ultimates ready. Well, let's see how do they decide to pop it, and what is going to be the flow of ultimates being used by both these teams. That's I think of more importance, because Team Metal would be looking for a retake, since they have the null command from Fox, and which will help Wolves get into position and pop that lockdown. And that is the reason they're stacking the B side. Not just stacking it, they're pushing through the B side. And there's a recoil from JE too. So essentially it's a 5-man push. But Godlike, ready, with their arms open, are able to get that one, and instantly the players of Metal realize this is not a position that we'll be able to take. Just
absolutely.
With some
no more Sova.
I mean, Godlike were completely aware about Metal's intentions. The moment they see low economy, they instantly associate it with high risk, high reward strats. This time the high risk strat was Metal running down B main. They've done this before, you know. Run straight out of that area, smoke the attacker spawn little lane over there, and then continue taking B link control. So Godlike just positioned themselves appropriately. They've really studied what Metal love to do.
Yes.
And within just a matter of a couple of rounds, they make the adjustment. And it works out perfectly for them.
It's like Metal is being read. Plus this, I did not see any timeouts being called by Team Godlike. So it has to be done within the 20-25 seconds they get to buy.
Free time, yeah? Freeze time.
So that's a great adjustment for Team Godlike. And it has helped them to get 3 rounds back to back. This will help them in their economy. Throw Team Metal again in a very difficult spot because every round they lose, they'll have to eco in the forthcoming round.
And Metal once again are finding themselves in that little economic hell of ecoing, buying. Yeah, they somehow have to break out of this vicious cycle. One way to break out of it would be to just fragment their way through, but there have been so many little gaps in their defense in the past few rounds. Godlike are starting to identify them. First it was Zay sneaking through tree a couple of rounds ago. Then it was Godlike reading the eco rush setup, so they play super passively and they just intercept everybody. And then it was that little mid play that they were able to make. So they only found success 3 times, but every single time Godlike, whenever they find success, they have shown that they do it on the basis of reactive plays and on the basis of being able to read their opponents, which isn't what Godlike is known for, you know? You would associate reading your opponents to a team like, I don't know, God's Reign maybe. Godlike have always been the kind of team that assert their dominance and try to enforce their own plan A rather than trying to read their opponents, but this is not looking like the Godlike we have seen in the past. They have evolved.
Look at that, Hacker already calling out the timeout. He knows that, okay, yeah, we were able to get a few rounds on the board, but that does not mean Godlike cannot answer back. They just did. And now Metal seems to be in a little bit of a trouble. So let's see, Metal. What adjustments do they make over here? They still have that round lead and now have the operator in the hands of Easy too. So they do have the tools to work with. Let's see where do they put it in place. Easy, he is peeking down mid. But then again, I think so because already Metal does not know the setup that Godlike is running in the very starting round. They do not know their default. This operator will find nothing because this position always gets smoked whenever Team Godlike is playing.
Oh, but this time Easy's prepared. Oh no, he wants to take that risky leap. He's probably just waiting for a flash from Fox to make it happen. Or maybe a crunch from Godlike deeper into its tree so that he can make that push happen, but he just backs off instead. Repositions to its CT. Which is appropriate because Godlike have already infiltrated tree and they're deep into the site now. One of the first ultimates comes through. Lockdown invested. There is a counter lockdown available from DC Rules, but he's not committing to it yet. Instead, Kakarot goes for a flank heavily towards A main. And Astro's reading this one.
And this is all done to deny the counter lockdown. They have tree control and Astro is able to win a very crucial fight. Rexy not being checked. Even Zay on the other hand is able to get one frag. Oh, wait a minute. Fox and Jay, they're able to get 2 frags of their own. Caramel on flag. Gets one. Gets the job done. Should be enough. Because now in a 1v2 you just need to play time. Astro jump peeking around the corner. Maybe let's go Fox. Let's Fox get it to half. Then the white swing comes in. And exactly at the same time, Caramel peaked too. So there was no way Godlike were losing that round.
One enemy remaining.
And a great adaptation. They do not use the lockdown early on to enter into the site. They use it once they're already in. To deny Zay, to deny DC Rules to put that lockdown A shot. Because look at how deep the lockdown was thrown in from Zay.
Exactly, it was practically in hell.
They just controlled A shot. They just controlled A heaven. And were able to get frags left and right.
Yeah, and even if DC Rules planted his lockdown somewhere towards short, right, it would just force Godlike to go back towards A main, which wouldn't make a difference because Godlike can play post plants from there regardless. So the win conditions for MLT Esports were completely nullified over there. One win condition could have been the flank from Kakarot working out, his ultimate not being intercepted by Astro, but then again that's just wishful thinking. And this time Godlike aren't relying on wishful thinking, they are relying on a fistful of frags, and the frags do come through. Hold on though, Fox with a little bit of blind ambition is able to get a couple of frags, but Caramel will shut him down regardless.
Spike planted.
Jay still has a Vandal. So there is a little bit of a breath in this retake. Let's see if Rules is able to recover. Oh, he gets an Ares. And now can throw the lockdown too, but then Rexy has the Hunter's Fury.
Yeah.
So Godlike, the cycling of ultimates is just beautiful, man. DC Rules is able to take care of one of the players of Team Godlike while trying to rotate. That I think was Caramel. And now Rexy. He has the Hunter's Fury available. He'll save it for first run. I mean, there is anyways not enough time left. The flash is beautiful too. Kibo just before dying tosses an 8, so no more diffuses coming in. Both the players reveal. The tap comes in and so does the Hunter's Fury. I think it was not even needed because Kibo anyways won the fight. And Godlike easily, very easily secured the round.
And they've taken the lead once again. This is starting to look a little bit like deja vu now, isn't it? Even Lotus was something similar. You had Medal leading at first. They have a couple of rounds in the bag. And then Godlike string together 6 or 7 rounds to mount that comeback. Even now, Medal had a nice 4-0 lead, and then Godlike will 5 in a row. And in process of doing so, they've broken Medal's economy twice. And now Medal are stuck in that perpetual cycle of ecoing and buying again. Unless Ezzy can make a move over here, this looks like a done and dusted round once again. The flash is pushing back. Astro makes that massive ultimate, and somehow DC Rules is none the wiser.
I mean, the way Godlike is playing, they're working like a well-oiled machine. There was not even, I'd say, a gap of 0.1 millisecond. Because as soon as the flash popped, Caramel peaked. And the operator shot obviously missed because Easy was completely blinded. Going out. And then the remaining util, the ultimate being stuck out boat house, him knowing that DC Rules is still outside boat house but cannot come inside because already there is a lot of utility being thrown in and the jet has already dashed in. A lot of chaos being created by Godlike. And in the middle of all of it, Godlike, they just get untraded frags for themselves. What a beautifully orchestrated round. Again, they get these rounds back to back, and Medal, they started off strong, the adjustments comes in, and none's the wiser. Medal, they cannot figure out how to stop this side of Godlike now.
Solutions unavailable, the problems mounting further, and they're just stacking up on top of each other. How will Medal respond to this? This is the 6th round Godlike are able to string together in a row. So money is not an issue at all. Godlike have cash for days. They are rolling in the green. They can probably behave like that. Who's that duck from Looney Tunes who takes a nosedive into a pool full of gold?
Oh,
Is it Donald Duck's grandpa or whatever? They basically can cosplay
let's
that
call
guy.
him Richie Rich.
Yeah, Richie Rich would be a very good metaphor over here as well. Meanwhile, MLT Esports are just putting together pennies and pocket lint, man. Kakarot, with the one rifle available in this round, is looking to get something done. He's the only hope, the only messiah. At least to make up for the lack of firepower, MLT Esports are stacking, or rather double stacking each of these areas. They've left A main completely, which is okay because Godlike barely ever use it. Double stack towards tree, double stack towards mid, and then they've left DC Rules to his own devices on B, which is good enough. He at least gets a couple of frags. You know, he gets one. Kakarot is able to shut one down before the mechanical door reaches all the way to the bottom. So, hey, Medal have made this look possible. I don't know if a full retake is in session, but at least Fox can go around the other side, retrieve a weapon, if nothing else.
The next 15 seconds will be crucial for the retake. If Fox is able to get a frag, then the retake is on. Otherwise, it's better for Kakarot to save the weapon. Already, time is going to become an issue over here. Kakarot tries to jump in. Does not check B main. Is, I think, just gambling it out. He's a free player though, Astro. And, I mean, since there is no time left, plays like these were bound to happen. Kibo, great flash, buying time. Left Lexi to knife. But hey, Medal won't at least allow that. And Godlike, they get their 7th on the board.
Okay, then that round turned into little more of a laughing riot than I thought it would be. Shock dart kills, yeah, sure, they're very amusing to look at, but I didn't see that coming. Nice pick-offs by DC Rules and Kakarot over there to make this round a little more possible, but as soon as Astro died over there, I was very surprised to see that shock dart kill from Rexy. And then man's bold enough to go push all the way outside like that, holding his knife. We have a reverse Odin spam. JE forced to drop downwards. Oh, but he comes out with a much bigger gun. Screw your Odin, I've got lasers. And he gets Zay.
Even Caramel's tagged. So that's gonna be another big problem. And Zay being picked off, that is flank insurance gone. So now you'll have to check every other avenue of the map. And Kakarot has already started taking real estate. Aiming is his. Let's see if Caramel lost his weapon back in time or not. Fox is able to get a frag. Kakarot will be checked, but won't be fragged out. The duel evented out, and now it's the 3v5. No way Metal lose this, right?
Right?
Right? Oh! It's another story for another day, I'd say. Rexy also gets a frag.
And he's about to peek through again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, the timing. Rexy literally like an absolute mad lad dry peeks out of that smoke on tree, out of his own teammate's smoke, having no information, and he's still able to find two people on the back lines. Meanwhile, that flank is simply not needed because Astro's a Giga Chad. Bro, okay, this was an absolute nonsense round from Godlike. I have to say it.
Switching sides.
I don't want to mince my words, but Godlike had no business winning this one. The decisions they make sometimes borderline reckless, but do they get them the wins? Hell yeah, so why not?
Oh my god. How is a player up heaven without anyone knowing? It was good for them that the smoke was blocking his teammates' own vision, otherwise this round would have been over very soon. Something happened. Something between the words of right happened and Godlike just won the round. What a round.
And I love it how we saw it coming. We saw, like, we saw logic being yeeted right out of the window as soon as Rexy tried to make that play into window himself. And we knew that, okay, this guy is taking some very crazy risks. Is he gonna get punished? And then we're like, yeah, no, he's not getting shot. This is done. Oh, what a funny way to end that first half. And despite leading 4-0, Metal find themselves on the back foot, trailing 8-4. This seems to be a good day for Godlike. Let's see if they can turn it into a clean 2-0 sweep on the other side of this break.
Hit for my wings, I need my eggs. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
Bro, fridge meat के लिए, heat के लिए नहीं. Bro, this graphics card is making my frames drop. Come with me if you want to get.
The all-new Omen 16 with advanced Tempest cooling technology, now with 5 heat pipes and 4 thermal outlets. The Omen 16 with 12th Gen Intel Core i7 processor to make you forget your frame drops.
Now that's cool.
Game on with Tempest cooling.
Presenting Hyundai i20 N-Line. It's time to play.
Yes, I'm a Gen Z. Or should I say, the Gen X. And I don't let fear hold me back from doing anything. I choose to move fearlessly to it all.
Hey buddy, we need you to trim your beard for this next scene.
What? Okay, fine, I'll admit it. I move fearlessly in most things, but I draw the line here. What if I Nico cut myself?
Try this.
Phillips.
Hit for my wings, I need my eggs. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
Welcome back to Omen Valorant Challenger South Asia. You're watching Godlike versus MLT Esports. And even though MLT Esports were leading 4-0 at one point, Godlike won 8 rounds in a row to take this massive lead. Zay trapped in the corner, but look at the smokes being put up by Godlike. They're hiding inside their own smokes. Rexy might just turn this into a nasty surprise, and he does. The frenzy starts to sing the songs of death. And before they can get anything done, Astro is here to back them up. Astro with the triple. He's making this look like a piece of cake. A quad kill for the man to put the pistol on the board.
Even he gets a 4K. He essentially won them the round with that smoke, you know. Because it just got so much time for them to get in. It was like, what, 10 seconds that Team Medal is already into the site but cannot plant because they were not able to clear boathouse and not able to clear that smoke. That is exactly where Astro just disrespects the smoke thrown by Team Medal, jumps into the site and helps his comrades out. What is happening right now? Everything that Godlike is doing is falling in place.
More like falling apart for Metal. I mean, there's two ways to look at the same thing. Caramel is allowed to get out of there. It shouldn't have happened, you know? But hey, it's completely fine for Metal Esports as of now, because their objective is to just show map presence all over the place. They make presence towards A main known, they make their presence towards B main known. If they get a pick from it, then that's great. But even if they don't, they're never supposed to in the first place. The only place where they aren't showing presence is towards mid. And that's where Zay will just reside and chill. Caramel, on the other hand, though, he's about to witness a whole lot of action, a whole lot of people coming his way. And you know it, he's gonna peek out of that smoke. You know it's calling his name. It's beckoning him. The temptation, irresistible.
Oh.
Alright, he's more disciplined than I thought.
Hey,
but he'll still see a lot more action.
Stay down.
And there's one. Let's count it out. Two. Okay, two. The third. That's Caramel.
30 seconds left.
That's just him. I mean, somehow in the Matrix, he's able to dodge all the shots from the coming two players and delivers all of them net close. And Rexy will close out the round. He just finished what he started. He tagged Jay with the shock darts early on, and then is able to clean him up with the Sheriff. Godlike, a 10th one on the board, double digits. And I think this should be a 2-0 series from here on. Medal, 6-round deficit. I've never seen them come back from such a great point of, I'd say, negativity now.
Yeah. It's a very appropriate Matrix reference as well, so that's quite cool from you, Fritz. You're a man of culture.
Hey.
Unfortunately, in this case, Caramel chooses the red pill, chooses to fall back and stay a very disciplined, stay like a very disciplined guy.
Going out.
I probably would have taken the blue pill, you know, gone all out, but that's enough Hollywood for now. Speaking of Keanu Reeves, this guy literally tried to be John Wick over there, up on top of high mid. That's such a risky play, by the way. Nobody's backing him up. This is again another risky play. Zay is not even playing close to cover, you know. He's just literally out in the open, up against Phantoms and Vandals, and the Bulldog is pulling off some miraculous stuff over here. Like I said, most of this game is not going to make sense in terms of conventional Valorant. So you have to put logic aside and look at it from a lens of magic.
Hey, there's one piece of thing I'd like to say. Zay was the John Wick over there.
Yeah.
He killed his bot and he took down 2 heads. So he's avenging for the death of his, I'd say, pet. Yeah. Because that's what the bot could be. But yeah, I mean,
God, he's not a Sky.
Oh yeah, true. Oh my God, they'll try something on this B side. Contact has been taken from Rexy, so he will ask for some support and already just jumped down to the deep depths of bathroom. Zay gets a third one too. Finally, Fox though is able to shut down Kakarot in that position. They might have an outside chance with Jay with 46 HP left. All 4 players of Team Godlike still alive. This round should be dusted. The question is, does he get the ace, Zay? Does he literally kill everyone and becomes the Baba Yaga? Let's see. Swings, gets the ace, and Godlike Zay is a new John Wick, and Godlike, they'll also get the 11th round, but that does not matter now because I think Godlike's already won the game. But hey,
more or less, yeah.
From the guy.
Great performance from Zay indeed. 5 frags in the round. With the defuse, he gets 6, and he's just farming up his lockdown for a rainy day. And his teammates are happy to give it to him. Godlike finally showing signs of life after a devastating Split 1 and some promising matches in the opening few games of Split 2. Godlike have shown up with full force and vengeance. They are here to redeem themselves. They are here to tell everybody that they cannot be discounted. They can't be discredited. And they certainly cannot be ignored.
Placing swamp grenade.
Another round, another attempt of team medal, trying to get into the side. This time, a very fast approach, but easy. Will be mollied, will be spammed through, and Evo already gets a frag. There was a smoke, there was a flash, there was a suppress, there was a molly. So much out of the main just to shut down this push from team medal. And what a read from Godlike.
Yeah, I mean, keep up throughout basically his entire kit except for those flashes. But then again, you had Zay who's now starting to recover his Killjoy utility and place them according to mid setups. He's expecting that MLT Esports will fall back from the A main region and try to enter the B site from one of these places, either main or mid. So he's okay with letting them go towards market. That's why the alarm bot has been placed only towards the defender spawn entrance. But Zay, even though he smoked off from the action, will continue to spam away. He doesn't need a line of sight.
Wow.
Baba Yaga has his senses, and those senses let him smell his enemy's fear. He can sniff out where they are.
Oh my god, that's just crazy from Godlike. Zay just spams the players out, gets a frag, and now a 5v3, and the lockdown is there too. So, do they decide to put it? Of course they do. Of course they do. And they are aware that someone could come in through B main. Jay, he just wants one frag so bad, but won't be given out. Rexy gets a frag too. Kakarot try to escape, will just be caught. And Godlike, they get their 12th, and this may be literally a race to the finish line for them.
And it's good that Godlike are winning in this fashion. Not only did they need to win this match to have some sort of a hope of getting into the playoffs, they needed to win it with a massive margin too, so that the round difference favors them in the long run. With the 12-4 lead, I think they will be able to cover up quite a lot of deficit.
Oh, it's a timeout call. Always on the 12th rounds, huh? Always on the 12th rounds you'll have a timeout here.
Too little, too late?
I mean, too little? I mean, is there enough to say about Team Medal? Because they won 4 rounds, but that was about it. You need to get 13. Let me remind them. You need to get 13 to win and not 4. Because after getting the 4 rounds, Godlike have got 12 straight back. And that's one way to answer a 4-0 lead from your opponent. You just get...
I know, right?
You just have the match point and are just looking down at your opponent and feeling like, yeah, we've already climbed the mount. We're not letting them come here now.
Exactly. Like, this is not just a comeback. This is a complete whitewash. You respond to a 4-0 lead by winning 12 rounds back-to-back across both halves. Now, I don't know if that's a statement of dominance or what, but it is certainly a loud proclamation that Godlike can't be overlooked. And they are looking to get across the finish line as quickly as possible. Keep in mind, Godlike are in a bit of a precarious spot in terms of their standings. So they need as many rounds as possible to make their playoff slot a guarantee. Fragmented one way put there to make sure that Metal can't take control. Even though Kakarot's gone to the other side, they spot out where ASTER is. Now he's gonna get burned alive because of that fragment. No! He's given a little corner! His little no-no square, his little square of existence allows him to stay alive. Opportunities bloom wherever he treads, and now he's picking up fights, he's picking up frags. Even though he gets traded out, he spotted so many players over there. And this gives away Metal's entire game plan.
The frag's so big that it is Kakarot down, so no smokes in the round. It's just getting worse and worse for the side of Team Medal. The late owl drone will clear out B main. This will help, I think, Rexy to rotate very quickly as soon as the drone ends. That is exactly what he does towards the A side, and already you have 2 players positioned to stop this. The recon won't for the player under heaven. Kibo will play the spoil sport here. The null command gets popped too. Now Kibo gets one. Fox is there with the trade, but Kibo just does not stop, man. He gets the frag on too easy too. It all falls down to DC rules and Jay in this round. Jay spots the player. 23 seconds on the clock. Not enough time. The rotation is already here. Kibo will get that confirmation. Not the blood though. Jay taken down by Rexy with the trade, and now it's all on to DC
10 seconds left.
10 seconds, and as soon as the tap comes in, one of the players is just running him down.
Oh, they're diving.
Rexy, he just comes in, but he gets taken down. Wait a minute, it's a 1v1. Rules. Can he pull it out of his death? Can he pull Team Medal out of the corpse? Let's see the Nano Swarm!
Whoa.
Before even it lands, DC Rules is able to hit a shot through the board. And Medal survive right now.
Oh, that granted a lifeline. Now you better hope that this inch that you offered them doesn't turn into a mile later on, and that Godlike come to regret it. But Godlike had all the win conditions satisfied in this half, you know. And even in this round in particular, There's a tiny place where Kibo keeps on hiding. In case they used the Hunter's Fury, they would have used it towards Tree and Heaven. They wouldn't have checked Hell with it. So Kibo stays in that very position to make sure he goes unchecked. Hunter's Fury doesn't catch anyone, and even the positioning from Godlike was perfect because they had B main control, they had mid presence because of the Killjoy bot, and then they reinforce A. So Metal, despite walking into a trap, are somehow able to survive this one, all thanks to DC Rule's heroics. Give him a cape. He is the one who keeps his team alive, but for now he needs healing more than anything, but you can't do that now. Tree being hit. It's being contested. Astro ready to play a one and done position of sorts, and Zay ready to swing on the back of it. Okay then. Easy does make it look easy, standing true to his name. The Cloudburst pushes Zay back, but there's still an angle available. Oh no, he's pushing through the Cloudburst. That's a mad lad play. Zay was absolutely bold to do so, but his overburning ambition makes it a bit more possible for Metal to cruise through this round.
Oh, Rexy, does he expect DC Rules? He does not, but anyways, because Rules does not have a lot of HP to play with, he gets taken down. Easy is down low, 235 HP to his name. The knife will tag a lot of players, and the Blade Storm misses. Only if Caramel was able to get one there. Fox will pick off Kibo, so no heroics from the lad this time around. And should be a medal round. 6-1 on the board. Medal. Let's see for how long can they survive this onslaught.
I mean, Metal have quite a lot of room to cover over here. Godlike have built up quite the balance, quite the buffer over here. And yeah, they have money too, you know. I mean, it's not like Godlike are broke. They can continue affording weapons again and again. It's bound to run out at some point, but I'm pretty sure that they will finish the game by then. And they want to end it right here and now. Timeout called by Godlike. No more shenanigans, no more games. They want to get down to brass tacks and finish it. Can they do so though? In the last few rounds, MLT Esports have done really well to push and pull Godlike away into multiple different directions. Even though Metal never really approach mid, they never really break that alarm bot towards the middle region, they have done really well to make sure that Godlike can't pinpoint where they are going to be heading. And that's partially because of their split pushes towards both B and Tree at the same time. Sometimes even A main every now and then, but then they are more comfortable giving up A main. You know, as soon as things start to go south, Metal will retreat from that place and hit elsewhere. So those are the patterns that have been repeating for the last two rounds, which have allowed them to garner something, you know, because the last round they were able to win before these two was in the first half. So yeah, a little sign of life on them. But how long can they keep up the charade? How long can they keep the ventilators on? Eventually the plug will be pulled and it will be done by Godlike.
I mean, you can try to get a few rounds here and there, but you never know a hero play from one of the players of Team Godlike. A good ultimate can essentially change a whole round.
Yeah.
And that's probably where you fall, but Zay, he just pushes in. Is he a killjoy? I mean, he just disrespected all of his stuff that there was present. Goes in, gets the duel, gets the job done. And even Caramel being aggressive, he did find Fox, yes. But even collated some damage onto DC Rules too.
Exactly, so, right?
These are the hero plays. I mean, it had to happen in one of these rounds. And what better way to start right at the back of the timeout.
And DC Rules is gonna be so puzzled, like, bro, you didn't even see me. How did I get tagged up like this? The one man who made the clutch possible is always on low HP at the beginning of the round. And if Caramel makes plays like those, it's somewhat expected, right? He's a jet, that's his job. Zay making those ballsy pushes out of B main, that is just uncalled for. That is straight up disrespectful from Godlike. Look at the smoke. They didn't even cover the A entrance. They place it a little more ahead. It kind of indicates to you that they don't want to give Metal even a little inch to work with. A counter paranoia. Astro going for a fake TP, but all the suppressive utility from Godlike has kept MLT Esports at bay. Only Kakarot sneaks through because of a shrouded step across the smoke, but it still doesn't help. Godlike finish up the scoreline. They finish up the match, and they defeat MLT Esports with a convincing difference.
Look at the confidence. I mean, Godlike, what a win. and for sure that has to be the reaction, because Metal is out of split 2. No more coming back from the trenches, and they just got hit by a train. It seemed like Team Metal after the first 4 rounds. It was Team Godlike again and again all through those rounds. What a dominant performance. And Team Godlike, we were expecting a 2-0 from Metal before the series started, but this is a reverse sweep of sorts.
Yeah, right? I mean, it's not even that much of a reverse sweep, because once Godlike started to win those rounds, they just simply did not stop. The fact that they can string these rounds together means so much for the money system, because after that, even though MLT Esports are able to win a couple of rounds here and there, Godlike just simply are unbothered. Their money system doesn't get affected at all. They can continue putting up weapons again and again, and they can continue pushing MLT Esports out of the tournament. With several losses to their name, MLT Esports' chances of getting into the playoffs are down to 0 now. But Godlike might just get through. A resurgence from them in the middle of Split 2, and better performances from them as opposed to what we saw from them in Split 1. We have certainly seen quite a lot of improvements. Kibo has been a key factor to that, but the way Zay was playing fearlessly, the way Rexy was landing all of his utility spot on, everything contributed to this win.
What a way to finish the series, man. Godlike, a dominant victory in both the maps. It never felt like Godlike were out of action, except for the first half of Ascent. Not even first half, I'd say first 4 rounds of Ascent. The first half, as soon as it ended, we all knew Godlike is the favorites over here. And what a game from the side of Team Godlike. I do hope they continue the same performance once they face the other teams in their group, because I would love to see some more insane strats like these, especially what they pulled on Lotus. I'd like to see something like that happen once again. And let's hope for the best possible results for Team Godlike in the future, because Metal, one of the teams, already out of the tournament.
Yeah, we will break down these strats from Godlike in the post-game segment as well, so stay tuned for that.
Hit for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, just the 7 C's. I deal with life different, make that limit squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this the 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that limit squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this the 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that limit squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this the 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that limit squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only family, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this the 7 C's. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only family, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this the 7 C's. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only family, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this is 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track